Hi, I'm back. Hello. This is James, CTX Scavenger, formerly known as the Storage Scavenger, but I'm no longer just doing storage units, so we had to rebrand the name. Before anybody like Rhonda gets mad at me, I know you wanted Rascally, but Jessica said no. She didn't like that name. So we debated things, went back and forth. I tried several different names out, and we settled on CTX. CTX because we live in Central Texas, and we scavenge the Central Texas hill country looking for cool stuff that we can resell and stuff that we can share with other people. So we have rebranded. I've been gone for a while. So, first of all, hello, Papa Smurf. First one. So far, the only one in. It's been 2 years since I've done a live stream, though. So, there's a good chance a lot of people ain't going to see the notification on this. So, I figure it'll be recorded, so it'll be there for the replay. We're going to talk about where we've been, what we've been doing. It's been a rough couple of years for us, honestly, mentally, emotionally, physically. I've made a lot of mistakes in how I was running my business. I lost trust with a lot of people in the community because of some of the things that I did, and I got to own that. And we're going to talk about some of that a little bit. I'm not going to go in depth on it, but I am trying to make things right with people as much as I can. Um, but eventually, it kind of got down to, I got a lot of stuff to get rid of. I still got stuff from storage units we bought 2 years ago that I still haven't gotten rid of because I haven't been selling. Um, and I'll go into a part of why here in just a little bit. And we got some unboxing. I actually been doing some auctions, and this 2 boxes, well, 1 box and 1 envelope, are some stuff that we got from a Whatnot auctions just a few days ago. Came in over the weekend, and so we're going to be unboxing those as we go. We're going to unbox those here in just a little bit, show you what all we picked up. Now, about half of it we bought for personal use. And then the other half is stuff that we're going to try to list and sell. See if we can get a little bit of money back. I think that there's enough in there that I can at least cover my cost of shipping with the stuff that we got. So, and we are going to start doing auctions again. We're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. You can see the pinned comment. There is a link to our Whatnot, which is where we're going to be doing our auctions. If you're watching this on the replay, check the description of the video. There is a link to our Whatnot in there. If you're not on Whatnot, you'd like to try it out as a buyer or as a seller, you can go through our link and you'll get a $10 credit for signing up. Now, I'm not here to promote Whatnot like some of the other people are and tell everybody you have to go to Whatnot. It works for me. We're just now starting on it. In fact, just today, I did an onboard meeting with Whatnot and got my final approval to go live. So we are going to be doing our first Whatnot auction tomorrow about this same time. I think I got it at 8:30 tomorrow. So I'm working on setting up lots. I'm working on getting things as organized as I can. As those of you that have followed me for a while may know, I am a disorganized ADHD mess. Getting better at it. One of the things I've been doing for the last 2 years while I haven't been here is learning a lot about ADHD and how to work with my ADHD to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish with my life instead of letting it destroy my life like I have for most of the last 45 years. I've learned more in the last 2 years about what it means to be ADHD and how to manage it than I did in 45 years. Because I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was like first or second grade. Okay. And my only training back then was here, take this Ritalin and it'll fix your problem. That was literally all I knew about ADHD until about 2 years ago. And it didn't fix the problem. And there's a lot of things that go with it that I didn't know about. In fact, a lot of the problems I've had throughout my whole life, including with my auction business, was because of different things that go with ADHD. It wasn't exactly because a lot of people think ADHD is just being distracted or being unable to focus, which is a part of ADHD, but not all of it. My mind goes 900 miles an hour 24/7. It hardly ever shuts down. Um, and then there's a lot of things that go along with it, and some of it's um, perceived failures, even in necessarily when you don't. They have what they call rejection sensitivity, which I am a very big part of, have a big part of in my own life. And so, you know, even minor bits of rejection, my brain blows out of proportion and I feel like I'm being rejected by everybody when it may only be one or two people. And so when I started coming back into the community, I was shocked by the reception that I received from everybody. And thank you, everybody who has welcomed me back to the community, who has, encouraged me to come back and start selling again. Um, we decided through a lot of work, I spent a lot of time debating what we were going to do. Hello, Miss Amber. So we decided to rather than doing our um, auctions here on YouTube, which I may still do some, but we're going to be doing the bulk of our auctions on Whatnot. Technology wise, the system is in place to do things there that I couldn't do here on YouTube. Um, and there's a lot of things that are we've struggled with doing YouTube auctions is that they have the technology in place with Whatnot to do. I see a lot of people that don't like Whatnot, mainly from the eBay crowd. You can't compare eBay to Whatnot. That's like comparing YouTube to TikTok. They're two totally different platforms. They're two totally different systems. They're different audiences. And it's different styles of selling. For me, I'm doing storage units mostly. We're still doing some thrifting. We just did a thrifting video a couple of days ago. If y'all didn't see it, um, but honestly, there were only like 3 items that we couldn't sell on a $2 auction that we wouldn't make money on. You know, and most of those items that we got that were more than that were for personal use. The only one that wasn't was the Uggs that I'm going to list for sale on Macari. Um, and I'm still not listing them for top dollar. When I'm listing stuff, I'm wanting to try to turn it quick. So I will sell for less than what it's worth to try to flip it faster. Because, I love Whatnot on the buying side. I've already bought a few. In fact, right there is a Whatnot delivery that I just got. Now, the little envelope on top, I didn't purchase. It was actually part of a giveaway. That's one of the things I like about Whatnot. They actually have this system to give away stuff as well as just selling stuff. Um, and we did I was at somebody else's auction. They did a raid at the end, and the person whose channel we ended up on during the raid did a giveaway, and I won the giveaway, and that's the top envelope there. So I thought that was pretty cool because it didn't cost me anything, and I got a pretty cool little item that we're going to show you here in just a little bit. The other box is stuff that I bought at an auction, and I only paid $25 for that box, including shipping. And it's pretty packed. There's a lot of stuff. About half of what's in that box we bought for personal use. But there's a few things that we're going to try to list on Macari and sell. And honestly, most of it wasn't that expensive. It was like $2-3, $2-3, $2 or $3. It wasn't any big ticket items. I didn't have any. I think I had one item that I got for like $6. Was the most expensive item in there. And that was one that we got for personal use. So, it's all gonna be stuff that we can turn around and resell and still make some money. I'll probably with the parts of it that we're going to resell, I'll probably make the money I've paid for shipping back, which means I break even. Um, we're still doing storage units. We've been looking at some recently. I got some closing out later this week that we're going to try to bid on. But I got to make some room. That's part of why we're going to be doing whatnot auctions. One of the things with our business model, and Amber probably feels a lot the same way, is that we're trying to do a massive amount of stuff that we get out of a storage unit and flip it quick, because we want to get out and get another unit. For me, it's the treasure hunt that's fun. For me, it's the treasure hunt that I want to do. I don't want to spend months trying to sell something on eBay. I still list some stuff, and our eBay store got shut down, and I'm not allowed on eBay anymore. I can't even buy on eBay. Um, so I've been trying out Mercari, and it's doing okay, but I don't want stuff to sit for months. I don't have the storage space for it. I don't have the storage space to keep stuff for months and months and months, hoping it'll sell. Trying to get top dollar for it. So, I compare our whatnot auctions not to eBay, but to what we were doing on YouTube auctions, which was pretty much the same thing. Move a massive amount of quantity, put stuff in lots, auction it off, ship it out, get rid of it, make some room, go buy another unit. Mercari is your hotspot right now. I just started. I only have like a dozen items on Mercari, and they're all stuff that just came out of the storage unit. The one that we bought last week, got a video up on it. Most of the stuff that we have on Mercari came out of that unit. I'm slowly listing stuff on Mercari. Part of it, though, is my main focus is cleaning my storage room mess, my personal storage room mess, and cleaning up this work area so that I can have some room to get some stuff in. Most of what I'm buying right now are 5x5s and 5x10s because I don't have the space for anything more than that. We had a 10x30 unit that we used to rent. We wound up losing it in the last couple of years, because we just couldn't keep up with it. It was so overwhelming. That thing was packed floor to ceiling, front to back, with all stuff that we got out of storage units. Everything that was in there was stuff that came out of other people's storage units, and it was just so much. One of the things I'm liking about whatnot, I'm seeing a lot of storage unit buyers that are literally unboxing stuff right then and there and showing it and selling it right then and there. Now a lot of it too is we bought a whole bunch of units when we first started and never got them all sorted and sold. The later units we bought, we actually sold almost all of that stuff before we went and bought a new unit. But I had stuff left over still from the first 4 or 5 units that we bought that we never sold. Um, and that's one of the things that I learned. This time I'm buying a unit, we're going to sell it, we're going to get rid of it, it'll be gone, then I'll go buy another unit. Yeah, I like the smaller units. The downside, at least around here, is most of the smaller units that we're finding that are at a decent price for the size of unit it is are just getting overpriced. I saw a unit, I kid you not, it was a 5x10. It was less than a quarter full, and it was just boxes and totes. There was nothing really to say what was in there. It wasn't really perfectly packed, and it was like $700. I mean, it's ridiculous some of the prices of these units compared to where they were even just 2 years ago. Even right before the pandemic, we were picking up units for 10, 15, 20, $30, $50 that are now going for $500 and $600. Yeah. Well, we started before the pandemic. And when we started, because we started in 2018. So we had a couple of years. We started in 2018. We started YouTube in 2019. And when we started is, it was simple to get small units. I could get it listed. I could get it out. Then when I left my job, we were worried about making some money. So we went and bought a whole bunch of units. And part of it was we went to our first live auction. Everything we had bought before was storage treasures and online auctions. And then we went to our first live auction, like right after I left my job. And we bought 5 units. And then a month later, we went to another live auction and we bought 3 units. And that was in December of 2019. Well, right after that auction, literally before I even got those units cleaned out, Emily got sick and went in the hospital. That was when she started getting really, really sick. Now, this is December of 2019. And looking back and talking to the doctors, we're all pretty well certain without being able to test and know absolutely that she had COVID because her symptomology matched COVID, but they weren't even talking about COVID. She had all the quote flu-like symptoms, but she didn't she tested negative for the flu. Um, as far as like loss of sense of taste and stuff, when she was being G-tube fed, not much going in the mouth, and she's nonverbal, so she couldn't tell us if she could taste anything or not. But most of the symptoms that we can trace were COVID symptoms. And she was so sick. It was the sickest she's ever been. And it took her, she was almost hospitalized over it. Well, she was hospitalized and then she got out of the hospital and then she was still really sick until about the middle of January. And then Jessica got sick and that's when she started getting sick. And that was about the time we started doing YouTube auctions. Um, and things were just up and down. Even throughout 2020, we were here and gone. I was gone for a while then, came back. Part of that was again because we had so much going on. And then we were like that throughout all of 2020. Well, then 2021 came around. Jessica was doing better, but she was still sick. Emily was having a lot of pain issues and she was really sick throughout most of 2021. Um, and then her hip was out of socket. It had been for a long time. Um, Emily. And so she had surgery on her hip in the fall of 2021, September. Just a week after she got out of the hospital, she started having GI issues. She was throwing up a lot. So they put her back in the hospital and they gave her a GJ tube. We spent the next 5 months in the hospital, literally. And I was right there by her side. This is part of why I can't sell on eBay anymore because while she was in the hospital, I had stuff selling on eBay and I was like putting people off, I'll ship your stuff as soon as I get home, but they're not going to wait for 5 months. I wasn't expecting to be there. It kept being, oh, well, we're going to give her a few more days. We're going to give her a few more days. It was 5 months. And I wound up getting banned on eBay because I wasn't meeting my obligations. I had too many negative reviews because people were refunding and all kinds of stuff because I was stuck in the hospital with my daughter. Because when she spent that 5 months in the hospital, I was right there by her side the whole way. I did not leave her side. I was at the hospital with her, an hour and a half away from all my stuff that needed to be shipped. Um, so they did the surgery. She got better. They got her medications. They came out with some things that everybody else knew. She has a new diagnosis, which they call dysautonomia, which basically means her brain does not create the signals to tell all of her organs, including her gut and her bowels and everything, what to do. Her brain's not creating those signals because the part of the brain that controls that is the part of her brain that deformed when she was in utero. And so I spent 5 months, but I kept myself as strong as I could during that time. But whenever she got out, I withdrew from the world, from Emily, from Jesse, from Jessica, from everybody. And I was playing video games and I was staying as far away from everybody else as I could because I had all my own issues going on. I felt guilty and ashamed because of my business and because of my failures to be able to prevent what was going on with her, even though there was nothing I could do to prevent it, my failures, all kinds of issues. And at the same time, I was learning more about my ADHD and that was compounding everything. I stopped masking and pretending to be somebody I wasn't. Uh, Thank you, Amber. Get the kids to bed. We will see you later. You can always catch the replay. So, we had a lot of ups and downs over the last couple of years. Now, come back forward, we're kind of blown through all of our savings and losing some other things going on. I also in that time have done some delivery services. We have an app called Favor, which is a lot like DoorDash, but it's more local. And I've done some deliveries for them for a long while and doing other stuff. And there's Jessica, but she's peeking in, but she's not wanting to be on camera at the moment. But, we had a lot going on. I had a lot going on physically. We had a lot going on emotionally. Had a lot of other things going on. We wound up losing our storage unit. Well, we didn't lose our storage unit to a lien. We were actually up on our payments, but it was just getting harder and harder to pay that bill. So we voluntarily surrendered the unit to the facility, which is different than a lien. We weren't kicked out. We weren't behind on our bills. And the funny thing is, if I had known, 4 months ago that we were going to get back into this and I had known about Whatnot back then, I probably would have started selling stuff on Whatnot 4 months ago and probably would have been able to salvage our unit and get rid of some stuff. Not everything we had was in that storage, though. Most of my reselling stuff was in that storage, but not all of it. I still got a bunch of it here in my studio room. I got a whole bunch of stuff. Some of it's this unit that we just bought, but some of it's stuff that we thrifted and garage sale. But most of it's stuff that was left over from my units that we bought 2-3 years ago. And so that's the first stuff that we're going to be bringing to Whatnot is the stuff that's in our units. So I'm going to go ahead and sneak over to my other camera real quick. I want to do my first unboxing. This came from Griffs Thrifts over on Whatnot. If you're on Whatnot, go check out Griffs Thrifts. I've got a link to his Whatnot in the description of the video. This is a giveaway that he did. I was at a auction for Sweets 10337, and they are actually in Texas too, but they're down on the coast by Houston. And I was watching their auction and chatting with them, and they ended their auction, and we did a raid, which is basically where they send everybody in their auction to somebody else's auction. It's a feature that I think YouTube ought to integrate. It's something that comes from Twitch. I wish YouTube would integrate some kind of feature like that when we lit into our live streams. But here is the unboxing. The little hand-carved Holland shoe. The wooden Holland shoe. See, it says Holland. Oh. Pretty cool little piece. Well, hello, Miss Susan. I've been kind of updating everybody on what's going on, so go back and watch the replay, where we've been, what we've been going through. But that was a giveaway that I got from Griffs Thrifts, and we'll do the big box here in just a little bit. Jessica's curious because she doesn't even know what I bought at that Whatnot auction. She wasn't there. You see that? I'm giving her the shoe. It's a shoe, not a hat. She's putting it on her head. And she won't even do it on camera so everybody can see her. Yeah, it won't fit your foot. That's too tiny. It wouldn't even fit on Emily's foot.
My toe.
Okay, it might fit on Emily's foot, but I doubt it.
There, I got it on. See?
So, we might do some auctions here on YouTube as well. There's some things that got to get worked out first, but the majority of my auctions are going to be on Whatnot, and we're going to be selling storage unit stuff, thrifted stuff. We're still selling on Macari, and there's a few other platforms. I'm also like furniture, big stuff. Some of the artwork we're selling on Facebook Marketplace. Part of it's because I don't want to ship that stuff. That stuff is a pain in the butt to try to ship. The furniture, the artwork, that kind of stuff. If it's the big artwork, now some of the smaller pictures and stuff, we can fit in small boxes and bubble wrap them really good. We'll do that stuff on our auctions. We've done that before. But the big stuff, the big, I mean, I still got that huge painting that we bought. I don't know if those of y'all that remember the first units that we bought. We bought this really huge painting. I still have it sitting in the corner over there. There's some damage to it. There's some damage to the frame. I really don't know how to sell it. I don't want to undersell it, but I don't want to oversell it either. It's a huge painting. It is a replica of a Monet. And I say replica generously. It is not a well done replica of a Monet. I'm going to get it in a few minutes. Patience. All in good timing.
Jessica wants to open the box.
Yeah, Jessica's trying to get me to open the big box. Because see, I still got one more big box right there. That is actually the stuff that I bought at auction on Whatnot. We bought it actually, weekend before last? Because we just came out of a weekend. It was weekend before last I bought it, and it came in while we were in Dallas this last week. So anyway, I was updating everybody. Emily had her hip surgery. She was really sick into 2022. She was in and out. She got better. I got really depressed. I was dealing with all my emotional stuff. Then we found out that her hip that they just did surgery on is back out. It's not as bad as it was the first time, but it's out of its socket. It's not sitting in the hip joint. So the last couple of months have been really hectic, but we got cleared this last week while we were in Dallas to have her surgery done again. We're hoping to get it done before the end of the summer, early fall. We really want to do it before September, October. So we're hoping, July or August, we can do her surgery again and get her hip put back in. If he can do it. And he won't know until he's in the middle of the surgery if he can do it or not. There's some things he's got to look at. He's got to make sure there's enough cartilage on there. And he's got to see if her muscle tone will allow it to stay in the socket. He says, I can do it twice, but after that, we don't have another choice. They're basically going to have to cut the ball off of that leg, put the leg bone into the hip socket so that it'll kind of stay in place. And that leg will be completely useless. It will never be able to bear weight, and she will never have a chance of ever trying to even semi-walk. Which is not preferred, but the alternative to that is she's in almost constant pain. She's on Valium to control her pain. She's on a lot of medications to help her. She's constantly getting Tylenol and ibuprofen and other pain meds constantly to keep her out of being in pain all the time. So the alternative to not doing the surgery is she stays in pain, and that's not tolerable. So we got to do something to keep her from being in pain all the time, even if it means ruining her chances of walking. It's not a preferred. It's kind of our last resort, but we're kind of at the point of being at the last resort on that. Of course, she's 10 and she doesn't walk now. So part of it, though, is they always told us, we've been told since she was born, she might have a chance to walk after they fix her scoliosis, but they don't want to fix her scoliosis until she reaches her full growth, which can happen anywhere from 11 to 15 years old. Well, 11's next year. As slow as she grows, though, we're probably looking closer to 15 because she's very slow growing. So, we have our hands full with that. Part of it, my reselling business kind of took over my life. And one of the things that we've decided is I am going to be a part-time reseller. I am going to resell as much as we can. But part of why I like Whatnot and I like, doing the auctions here on YouTube, and I like doing it where I can turn it, sell it, ship it, get it out, and I'm not waiting for months, and I'm not going to be away. When we spent that 5 months in the hospital with Emily in 2021 and 2022, I came to realize I can't be stuck in a business where I have to be home, because so we had to adjust our strategy. We had to adjust our business model to fit Emily's needs. Because if I have to go to the hospital, if I'm selling stuff on auctions and I got to spend a couple of months in the hospital with Emily, I'm not having to worry about whether stuff's getting sold and shit, because if I'm not going live, it's not getting sold. So, but that also puts us in a position where if I don't work, I don't make any money. So it puts us in a position where us having emergency savings is really, really critical. So that if I have to spend that time in the hospital with her, we're going to be okay. And that's all part of our plan. That's all part of what we're working towards, getting back to that. Because that was one of the things. When I left my job, we had almost a year's worth of our expenses in the savings. I didn't just willy-nilly quit my job and go do reselling full time. We were making some decent money reselling. We were making almost as much reselling part-time as I was making at my job, and we had almost a year's worth of our expenses in the bank. And we got out of debt. So, the only debt we have left right now, and since then, the only debt we've had is our mortgage on our house. And we want to pay that off. If I got some of them big scores like some of these other guys get, I might be able to pay up my mortgage early. And then I'll have no debt. But I haven't gotten that big a score yet. We're looking. We keep looking. That's why we hunt. We're going on the treasure hunt. Hopefully we'll hit a big score one of these days. And then I might slow down and say, you know what, we're going to maximize some of this one and sell it out in a way that we make more money off of it. But until then, and especially like with some of the units we're getting, honestly, I find a little bit of collectibles and stuff, but not that much. Most of it's normal household goods. And that stuff just sells. It sells on eBay, but it sells low and it sells slow. It takes up a lot of room in my house trying to store stuff that's going to give me 10 or 15 bucks. I'd rather sell it for $2 or $3 and get it out of my house and go buy another storage unit. That, and if it's not listed, it ain't selling. And guess what? That's one of the things that I think funny too is, see all these resellers that don't even do storage units, that do thrifting and garage sales. They have these huge death piles of stuff just sitting there, not getting listed, not doing anything. And if they complain about sites like Whatnot where they lose stuff for cheap, and I'm like, you could take that death pile and sell it on Whatnot and get rid of it, make some more room. If you're not going to list it anyway, I mean, if it's piling up, it's because you ain't selling it. Half that stuff ain't listed anyway. But, it's people going to run their business however they want to. And I'm not here telling anybody how to run their business. I'm just sharing my own ideas and how I think about it. I think about things in a weird way, though. So that's one of the things that a lot of people don't get about me. I think about things in ways that other people don't. And some people think I'm crazy. Some people think I'm weird. But I don't care much about money. Money is something I need to survive, and I need to have some things that I want, but I don't. 10,000 square foot death pile. Jeez, bro, man, that's too much. Go on Whatnot, sell that stuff off. Then you can go get more. I mean, my death pile looks pretty horrible right now. Let's see. Let me see if I can show you this. Okay, that's my death pile. But honestly, about 75% of that is empty boxes. A lot of that's boxes that I started because we've been talking about starting reselling again for a little while. So I started saving empty boxes so I got stuff to ship in. And most of that pile is honestly empty boxes. I just got a big old pile of empty boxes. I need a better place to store it, but right now I don't have any place to store it besides just right there. So it's just in my way. Um, and then there's some other stuff on the other side of that pile. Some of it's stuff that we're trying to sell. I got a whole bunch of plush. Uh, I had a whole bunch of plush. We weeded out Emily's plush too. She had like I have a whole trash bag of plush that was Emily's that we're just getting rid of because and we barely made a dent in what she's got. She got plenty, but she had people know what to buy her because she can't manipulate toys, so everybody buys her plush. And then she goes to the hospital, and the nurses bring her plush, and the doctors bring her plush, and the family brings her plush. So she's just got plush coming out her ears. And so we're gonna put some of that stuff in some of our lots, and we're gonna sell some of the plush off. We got a bunch of plush out of the last unit. Well, this last unit, the one that we just cleaned out a week and a half ago, I don't know, I've got a whole tote of nothing but plush.
Yep. Definitely lots of plushes. Big Mickey Mouse plush too.
Not cutting your other buildings. That's too much. You know, and yeah, we got Boatman, Susan. That's Amber, but she left to go put her kids to sleep. Papa Smurf's been here.
Hi, Papa Smurf.
So, yeah, we've had some great people coming by. Some of the old school followers came by to say hi. So we appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the other camera though, because we're gonna go unbox this other box and show y'all what all we got at the auction.
Yay!
Again, for those of y'all that came in late that didn't see this earlier, I bought this stuff at a whatnot auction. About half of what's in this box is for personal use. The camera's all the way over here. I already showed that one.
Oh. Well, I was letting all the other people know.
Well, I switched to the cameras.
Okay.
So, this lot came from Jay Adkins, and the link to his whatnot is in the description for the video. So go down there, check out his whatnot, give him a shout out. If you buy on whatnot, follow him. He's got some really cool stuff for sale. He does storage units too. This was all stuff out of a storage unit he was selling, and he was selling it right at the unit. As he was unboxing it, he was selling it.
Yeah,
So
I wish
he didn't even know what he had.
I wish y'all could see our boxes over here. That's a death pile over here.
Now the first one is this right here. This is for me because with all of our trips we're having to make to Dallas for Emily, my bag's getting worn out.
Oh, that's nice.
So I got me a new bag. I paid $2 for this bag. It's a huge duffel bag. It's like almost twice the size of my old duffel. And I paid $2 for it.
Jessica and James can both fit in there.
Yep. That's why I bought it. Now this is Jessica's going to go through this, pick out what she wants, and then we'll probably sell off the rest of them. These are all greeting cards. It's about 2 pounds of greeting cards and envelopes. So Jessica can go through it and pick out which ones she wants. This is a little joystick. I think that was not mine. Oh, I gotta get back to him. Play stick, joystick. We could probably sell that. We got a couple of Funko Pops. I don't know anything about Funko Pops, but I paid $2 for these. So I'm figuring the way I look at most Funko Pops and what I've seen, most of these sell for around, even some of the cheap ones sell for around $10, $15. I paid $2 for it. And then here is the shopkeeper from It. Number 874. So I got those two Funkos. We're gonna see. I don't know if they're worth anything or not, but we are going to see if we can sell those. But I'm thinking I'm missing something out of my box. And then he threw in. He had a whole bunch of these, and so anybody that had more than $10 worth of stuff in their box, he was throwing one of these in as a giveaway. It's a little Bordeaux wine bottle stopper, and I'm not a drinker, so that's probably gonna go up for sale on another auction because I don't need a wine stopper. I don't drink. But there was supposed to be some puzzles in there. I'll have to contact him and find out where my puzzles are. So, yeah. Anyway, because I had some puzzles that were supposed to be in there, and they were kids' puzzles, and the only reason I got them was because there was a couple of them that were Paw Patrol, which our 4-year-old, those of y'all that may remember, we had a baby, when we started. He was born in 2019, so he was about a year old when 2020 happened. He's now 4, and he's into Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol is like one of his favorite things, and they had some Paw Patrol puzzles, but they were supposed to be in the box and they're not in there. So I'm gonna have to contact the seller and find out what's going on with my puzzles. I think he might have accidentally put them in the wrong box. But everything else pretty pleased with. I got the greeting cards mostly for Jessica because she loves those kind of things. I got the bag for me. I paid $4 for the 2 Funkos. I figure one of them will probably cover that. Both of those, honestly, between the Funkos and the little stopper, I think those will probably sell for enough to cover the entire order. What I paid for the whole order. So, yep, that's our haul. That's what we picked up at our auction. We're going to be doing our own auctions on Whatnot. My first auction is scheduled for 8:30 tomorrow afternoon. So go over to our Whatnot, click on the pink comment, or click in the link down in the description and go check out our Whatnot. I don't have anything listed yet. I just set up the auction. I just did my onboarding and got permission to go live today. So I haven't had a chance, and it was late this afternoon. So I haven't had a chance to list anything yet for my auction or for Buy It Nows, but we're going to list some stuff on Buy It Now over there. We're going to start setting up our auction for tomorrow night. I'm hoping to get at least 20 or 30 items listed. I'll probably have about 70 to 80 items to go up for auction, but I'll probably only get about 20 or 30 of them actually listed before we do the first auction tomorrow. But that'll at least get me started and get me going, and then we'll just list and run as we go. And I may just start pulling stuff based off of whatever people want and whatever we've got. I have a limited quantity of stuff right now, or limited range of stuff. I have a lot of stuff, but a lot of it's the same kind of stuff. Don't have a whole lot of video games. I think I have 1 or 2 maybe. I have a bunch of movies. We're probably going to auction those. We've done really well with movies. I do have a little bit of jewelry, mostly costume jewelry, that we'll probably pull out. We may sell it off as a lot, or we might break it up into a couple of lots. I don't know. Hadn't decided. Some people want me to piece it out, but I could do a whole auction just piecing out jewelry. All my lots, tomorrow's auction, all lots start at $2. It's my first auction on Whatnot. We're going to keep it cheap, move stuff out. We're starting all lots at $2 and let it go. Because basically, this auction is not so much about making money, it's about getting rid of stuff, making some room so I can go get some better stuff. We got some decent stuff, we got some good stuff, but I want to get some better units. I want to go get some more units, and I need more space to be able to sort and bring it out. And what we're probably going to do, if we do get another unit this week, we've got some that we're bidding on that go out Thursday and Friday. If we get another unit, I may go live on Whatnot right from the unit and just unbox it and sell it right then and there out of the unit before I even bring it home. I don't know, because it's going to be hard to juggle selling on Whatnot and doing a YouTube video at the same time. But we're going to see how that works. We're going to try it, see what happens. So, anyway, thank you guys for showing up. Those of you that came and watched the replay, thank you so much for watching our replay. For everybody in the community that was hurt by my behavior in the past, people that didn't get their items or whatever happened, I am deeply sorry. I've been trying to make it right with people. If you're one of the ones I haven't gotten a hold of yet, please email me, James storage scavenger at gmail.com. Because even though I changed my channel name, I can't change the email address. So Google won't let me change the email address. So it's still going to be storage scavenger at gmail.com for my email. But if you have anything, if you happen to watch my stream this far and I didn't get a hold of you, please just email me. And I'm trying to make things right with people as best as I can. And I'm digging myself out of a hole that I've dug myself into. So thank you so much for the support of this community, though. It's been overwhelmingly positive for the most part. And thank you all. We really appreciate you. We love you guys. We'll see y'all next time.